Welcome to JCCR Racing, where we are testing out the best cars to use since the update. So we're going BOP applied. Yes, this is a lobby, but the BOP from the online races is being applied. So we're testing best cars to use for GT7 since the update. YouTubers versus subscribers. Really, it's YouTubers with subscribers because we're all here to learn and grow. These are going to be safe, smart, clean races amongst the friends of the channel. So if you're not a friend yet to the channel, like, subscribe, turn bell notifications on, and add one of these racers to your friend list. So then through friends of friend, you can make it on, or add Bear Cuddles _ for you. Add me as a friend, and then you can get the lobby notice when we're going to be doing lobbies. Now, when you get in, Da Crawler, yes. Now, that's great, Da Crawler. Come join us. Now we're going to be throwing on, entering here. And oh, fantastic, Philness GT, thank you so much. Now, Philness GT, if ever, you know, you've always got the open invitation. You're one of the main mates here. You're a fantastic racer, folks. Don't forget to check out Philness GT channel. But Philness GT is a very fast racer, giving us a lot of coaching, a lot of tricks and tips, as I always try to also give tips and tricks for all you beginner and intermediate racers out there. And I also test vehicles from the perspective of a beginner or intermediate racer. Now we're going to enter the course as people load in. I'm going to show you some of the benefits of the 911. It is the most improved car since the update. And it helps if we turn the steering wheel on, doesn't it? So it's the most improved car since the update. It's now driving, I'd say, the most realistically. And I say that from a very biased point of view. I own 2 Porsche 911s. And I've owned a lot of cars, but most of these are supercars, and I have not owned really all that many supercars. I have some high-end. I have a high-end car, a 2017 GT350, as well as the 2 Porsche 911s. But I can tell you that while my 911s are 996 generation, so I have a lot less horsepower than what this car is running, about 140 less horsepower. But I can tell you that it now behaves the way a rear-engine vehicle should. So the improvement isn't like some cars. The Genesis is just, through the last many updates, the Genesis and Toyota Supra have been absolute king cars, OP or meta. The most overpowered car, which is just unrealistic. Really, these races should come down to whether Porsche, Corvette, or McLaren are going to win. You can probably throw in 2 or 3 others, but throughout the decades, Porsche and Corvette have been at each other's throats for GT3 racing. And today I want to test Mount Panorama. It's an extreme race with a lot of elevation and de-elevation. And it's a great place to test out a car's ability to hang on in the tough situations. So elevation changes are tough on a car. It sends the weight distribution all over the place, and I want to test out those extreme races to see what cars can handle those extreme scenarios, situations, to help you out so that you can have consistent laps. That's not necessarily about taking the car that's the fastest on a track. It's about taking the car you can be the most consistent with and not, you know, lose 20 seconds during a race because you take yourself on the track, off the track. Because let's face it, it's already bad enough that we've got to worry about other cars taking us off the track, causing us 10 to 15 second delays. All right, so 211 now for a fast lap. But let's talk about this 911, the new unsung hero. You can power down coming out of turns, and it's not ultra fragile the way it was, which was unrealistic because, let's face it, a rear engine vehicle puts a lot of weight on the rear wheels, and a rear wheel powered vehicle with a lot of weight over those wheels, when you power out of a turn, shouldn't slide out. It should hunker down and take off like a rocket, and that's what it's doing now, folks. Now, 2 cars I respect more, maybe more, the Ferrari 458, but a Ferrari 458 has stayed more or less the same, I find. So the 911 has now taken the lead. I love the Mercedes AMG, a true unsung hero. The McLaren is now better, as it should be. The McLaren was really lagging with the last update, but since the new update, we've tested out, and the McLaren is not lagging anymore. The McLaren is a technological wonder in the real world, great at keeping you on the track, even if you're a beginner driver, just like the car is in the real world. Fantastic tech. So it can be a great weapon in the hands of a not so experienced driver. Unlike Mustang GTs with the traction control turned off in the real world, because guess what? Ford lets you take off pretty much, I think, basically 100% of the tech to keep you in a straight line. People turn it off because they want to spin tire, because the Mustang GT won't let you spin tire when the tech is on, so people turn stability control off and they don't have experience, and that's why they, you know, drive into things they shouldn't, like curbs, crowds, trees, signs, everything that's on the side of the road, basically. Look at that. Wonderful. I can power, add a little controlled sliding there. But that's why I love my Shelby GT350. With the stability control on, it does let you spin tire, and actually I believe it was through the first 4 gears in a straight line that I was just spinning tire and flying down the road. Now usually we do these on Saturdays, but yesterday I had a hunting course. It was all day, started at 8 a.m. So of course I was there at about 7:40, 20 minutes early, started at 8 a.m. Well, they started at 8:10, they're letting the slow stragglers get in. Understandable with the bit of snowstorm we were getting. And I left there at about almost 6:30, so just got home in time to see my sweet little baby girl for about 10 minutes before she went to bed. All right, you see this, brakes are great on the 911. I gave it some gas while the steering wheel was turned there. A lot of cars would lose control, and the Porsche 911 with its weight over the rear wheels did not. It also helps have traction control at 2, but now this has become a car that if you want to practice traction control 1 or even 0, it's going to be a good car to do it in. Now, what's the benefit of putting down the traction control to 0? Well, every A-plus driver YouTuber tells you to do it and says do it as soon as possible. I disagree. If you do it too early, you're going to be so frustrated, and you might not have the same dedication and persistence as they do, and you might just break your PS5 or game system if you're using some other system and you're a sim racer, not necessarily for Gran Turismo, but you might just stop sim racing altogether, and that's not the point. So let's finish up this lap and jump into the race, folks. Adamski, don't forget to put on your, yes, soft tires. Everyone throw on the softs. Yes, film this GT. I don't know how much I'm going to have to pay him for him to throw on the JCCR Racing. Actually, I think Film This actually has an account where he's actually part of the JCCR Racing team. I hope so. He is a good mate, really helpful, has definitely made us faster. So yeah, check out his channel, folks. There you go. That's how a 911 should be. You hit the apex and you throttle down on the accelerator, and it takes off. So 214, a 211. Looks like that's what I'm running here. Let's get off the track here. Hey, film this GT. So I'm going to turn on the live chat so I don't miss it, because on my screen the live chat does pop up, but it's for maybe 5 seconds. So give me a sec here, folks. Joining in with the rest of y'all. Don't forget to punt that thumbs up button. Help us out here. We're at 591 subscribers. In the first 1,000 subscribers, you are part of the JCCR Racing crew. You're part of the JCCR Racing Pit Crew. And if you play this sim racer, well, throw down JCCR underscore and then your name, and then you're part of the racing crew, as several have. We've got Super Doofus, we got Philness GT, if I'm not mistaken. We got JCCR J Rizzo, yeah, JCCR Philness GT up there. So we're all going to work hard to make you faster, smarter, better drivers. Because remember, when you bump and grind everyone on the track like you're at the club, that doesn't make you a faster racer. You might pass that one car 20% of the time, you're going to crash out. But what's also going to happen is you're just going to slow yourself and the individual you bump down, meaning the people behind you get a chance to get that much closer. Now let's see, Filness GT. Now, Filness GT is just grabbing coffee and we'll jump in the lobby very soon. Fantastic. Yes, morning, friends, and howdy. Let's get this done. I say howdy. Super Doofus says race long and prosper. Now, everyone, we've got our 8 drivers in. We've got the host menu here. We'll start it up. We'll see how they throw it up in the order. Hopefully they put Adamski in first as an E rating because we don't have... I asked slowest to be first because the goal to these races is extreme driving. I want everyone getting better, and part of being a good driver is being able to pass safely. That means patience. You got to pass when it's the right time. And I'm sorry, I've got new windows here. So this is the morning light coming in even though it's a cloudy snowstorm of a day. So a little brighter than I would like. So that's good. They've started me in the middle of the pack. I'm happy with that. And Filness GT, actually, extremely fast driver. One of the fastest, started at the top. So can't help it. We'll have to fix that for the next race. I guess I'll have to be set up by the host. Whoa, an accident right off the start. Hopefully that was accidental. And now the Porsche beside me doing a great job, even taking to the grass to avoid a collision with me. I realized I was in too tight on the curb, not giving him any space, so I tried to pull out. Now, folks, you'll want to find out what brake balance works for you. I've been playing around with -1 to 2 to the rear for the 911. It depends on what track and even what corner. So try setting up that brake balance on your steering wheel or controller, so you can modify it as you race. Got a bit of a lag issue with seconds, so making it a little harder to follow. Oh, wonderful turns up the hill. Very fast Supra behind us. Quick little braking here. Easy place if you're braking on that hill to lose control. Oh, we got someone passing in the hill. That does create for some difficult driving. I'm doing a little extra braking to avoid collision, and that's how you race. When you want to clean racing is well worth it. Why ruin someone's day 4 out of 5 times because you punt them off spear them into another stratosphere, ruining their day, driving very much unrealistically. It is a sim racer, not an arcade racer, but 20% of the time you'll crash yourself out. Looking for 4 laps of fun. Learn and grow with us. Join the channel, subscribe, turn bell notifications on. And if you pay attention, I know this track decently, so if you pay attention to my break points, they're usually pretty close to where we need to be, and I usually get pretty close to the correct line. You try to catch the apex. You want to go from the extreme outside to the apex, which is the inside candy canes, as we like to call them here. Now, JCCR Jay Rizzo is a very fast driver, much faster than me, but I believe that he was part of that accident. Might have been a hit at the beginning of the race. Now, this is YouTubers versus subscribers is the title, but really it's with subscribers. If you're part of this channel and have been for a little while, you know it's all about learning and growing together in a friendly atmosphere, trying to share some kindness and get everyone to be faster. Now, if you've started playing this on a controller, you're probably used to full brake or full acceleration, especially if you started back on like the PS2 or PS3. But whether you're using pedals or triggers on these controllers, Make sure to have your throttle and brake on the trigger. Remember, it's not all about full brake or full acceleration. It's often about partial brake. As you go towards the apex, you partial brake. As you come off the apex, you sometimes slowly and sometimes quickly get into that throttle. The more the steering wheel, general rule of thumb, the more the steering wheel is turned, or the more you're turning on the controller, the less you can be on the brakes or accelerator. Give them being a little faster than I would have thought. From the outside to the inside, and because we missed the apex by 2-3 feet, we went out by 2-3 feet, completely ruining that wonderful section of track. It's one of my favorite races. It is extreme. It's not as extreme as the Nürburgring, where if you can master that, you can master pretty much any track. Hard to memorize, so you just got to use the race basics to get you through. Now we are 6.8 seconds behind Give 'em. We will cut that down. We can, it's always about pushing it enough to be fast without pushing it far beyond your comfort zone and crashing, but you got to test the limits there between the 50 and the 100, and at some point you got to let go of the accelerator if you want to be turning, but we are using 2 to the rear, so less braking because we have less brakes going through those front wheels, but they can actually steer us while under braking like we did there. Now if you go too close to that inside, you want to avoid the immediate wall because it'll spin you out, because the track itself has an elevation change in that little apex section. Partial throttle here, then full, so you can modulate how much throttle you give. And it's surprising, but you do throttle it through this entire section. Basically, at the outside apex there, you brake a little. You might have to do some corrective braking there, but do not put the brakes to the floor because you get nervous. You'll slide right into the wall. Another reason why we've got 2 to the rear brakes, so the front brakes have been loosened up. A little less braking on the front so we can get some wheel turn. They're passing our teammate JCCR Super Doofus. And yes, I am still racing with the training wheels. I sometimes forget those markers are there on tracks that I know. I just haven't taken the time to remove them. But they are great points to be like, this is where you should be, it's your hit points. You want to be getting right on those markers if you're driving at the right limit. So this will be a good lap, 2:13, bring down the time just by putting down the race basics. And when you don't have the markers, well, tracks usually have tire marks on them to tell you what the good lines are. And we got Jay Rizzo behind us, a much faster driver. And what is he driving? We will find out shortly. Oh, looks like a 458 Italia to me though. The Knight Rider Jim, right on. That's our mate right there. Our buddy. Mate, just Australian for buddy, can mean something different in the Western, in certain other countries. Now, if you can master the elevation changes on this track, you can master the elevation changes on most any track. That's why we like to take the extreme races, because while they're difficult, they will force us to learn skills that are going to be good on any and every track. Going through there at 129 miles per hour is the right way. There we go. I was able to partially brake just because I have less brakes on the front. So this is definitely a track you need to be able to trail brake on. Oh, it's going to be tight for the last section here with Jay Rizzo. We missed a shift. I think he's going to be passing us on the straights. Ooh, it's going to be tight. This will be an interesting... Will we hold pole? Oh, I got that chip just right. Fifth, you really rev it out on the 911. Same thing for the Ferrari. Got right back on the gas for that section. A lot of people don't. They just coast through that section, but you really got to get back on the gas if you want to go through quick. They're going through about maybe 15 miles per hour too slow, so we'll miss a 210, or what would have maybe actually been a 212, 211. Lost maybe about a second on that last turn. But there we have it. Climbed up, held it off from the far superior racer, JCCR Rizzo. Got lucky, I'd say. Sorry, folks. Just got the baby monitor there as my sweet baby girl takes her little nap. Oh, yes, Super Doofus. That is a track to eat the wall. Absolutely.
Forgot to turn on wheel.
Oh, Philness. Turn on that wheel and let's get racing again. Now, let us know, Philness, Super Doofus. Philness, do we hit this race up again one more time, or do we switch it up to another extreme race? So extreme races that I would think are good, or let me know what's coming up for our Manufacturers Cup. We could practice some Sardinia. We haven't done Sardinia, and it is coming up for the Manufacturers Cup. Let me know if anyone knows what the layout is going to be. And actually, here's a great... Oh, if I pull out of this, yeah, I don't want to pull out of this because you'll all get kicked out. So try to let me know what the Manufacturers Cup Sardinia road track will be, whether it's layout A, if it's reverse, if it's layout B. There are so many setups for this track. Oh, Philness GT, loving Bathurst. Okay, here's the deal, Philness GT. We will do Bathurst again, but please look up the Manufacturers Cup. Oh, fantastic, Super Doofus. I wish you luck, as I know you'll wish me luck. Let's represent our team with pride, with some clean racing, and hope we get some good results as well. But, folks, we'll do Bathurst again, as we now actually get up to 12 racers. But let me be able to control the order. Or maybe we should be doing a qualifying. We do a quick little practice qualifier race. We could, yeah. There's no qualifier, then race. So we'll do practice, qualifier, then race. And we'll have slowest first. We'll change up these settings. But do check out Silver Fox. Welcome, my friend. Glad to have you. Folks, Philness GT, check out for the Manufacturers Cup what direction we'll be doing Sardinia. I think it'd be great to practice that up. And don't forget, Sardinia is a great track to make money and credits on, folks. So this week has been rough online. It's been... Even the update now has, it's weird. It's a huge penalty if you hit someone off the track. And we had an incident this week where a car was coming from off track. They had lost control. They were coming from the dirt and we're going through our turn. They actually speared us and it pushed them back off the track. We got a 4-second penalty. So 4-second penalties anytime a car goes off the track because of you, even if you're not at fault. Whereas hitting people on the straightaways, still no penalties. I think many of us, at least I don't want an arcade game. I want a sim racer. If someone does, if you're going down the straights glued and the person drives to the outside of the straight and comes back and hits you, I think that should be a 1-second penalty, and that wouldn't be tolerated. A little rubbing is fine. Rubbing is racing. But spear into another stratosphere situation is a situation in the real world. You'd probably total their car. You'd bend out their the bottom, the frame, the platform, really. And that would be a big issue. You'd be taken off the racing. If the person had physical harm, you might even get charged. So I'm going to let people come in, make it in. We all need to hit this little BOP regulation ready button. I need some liquid here because I've got way too much coffee. So let me run upstairs while you all get ready for the race here. Let's put it in spectator mode. And the race is going to start up in just a moment. We'll do a little qualifier. Then after the qualifier, what's going to be fun is we're going to be the slowest first. So those fast A+ drivers are going to have to make it all the way up to first. And the E-drivers, when you start in first, I just ask, don't hit people deliberately as they're coming to pass you. It's only natural that they pass you. Fastest drivers were put at the bottom of the track and only have 4 laps to make it up. But at least we've got a full stop start race, as all races should be, so that everyone has a chance. So we get to practice our drag racing skills. Good to see a Lexus on the track. A Lexus, commonly used car, quality car. I like Lexus as a brand quite a bit. I just wish their motors were a little more powerful. Generally, Toyota and Lexus give us motors that should be handling more power, but they're kind of detuned, you could say. They're not being pushed at all. All right, so we got our 12 racers here. Actually, we have 14 racers. This will be quite the lobby. They'll start me off in the bottom. That's fine. Before you get onto the track, here you just got to set up your front. And let's see, we can start the qualify here. Let everyone get in. I'm sure most people have been racing already. It's good to have the radar on, even though we're subscribers with YouTubers learning and growing together. So I'm not too worried about accidents here. So we got a 1-minute qualifier, which won't be enough to do a lap, unfortunately. So that needs to be fixed for the next one. Sorry, folks. Oh no, it will be enough because you just need to, your lap counts from, hopefully they'll just take our out lap time. Silver Fox, great on, man. Yeah, this week's been tough for holding our speed ratings to keep us in our well, not lobbies, but our driver rating. Driver rating the DR has definitely been affected this week. For many finding this week's races to be tough ones. There's a lot of places that people can, kind of pull a Call of Duty card out on you. Yeah, Silver Fox, I hope you will jump in. It'll just have to be in between races, so I'd say probably in about 15 minutes you'll be able to jump into the lobby. Would love to see that. So there we go. It's actually 1 minute total, so not set up properly. And if I leave, because I'm the host, if I leave, I can't just leave and make the... I can end the race though. So now we'll be returned to practice. Oops, let's see here. We'll go down to we'll change event settings and we'll get the qualifier here. Let's see, where is the qualifying time? Well, the continuation time isn't so important, but here we got to set this up to 3 minutes, so we need to get the out lap done, and then 1 proper lap. So the out lap's going to be 2 minutes. Then we'll be into our second lap, so we'll have enough. So 3 minutes should be enough here. Cheers, folks. Whether you're having your morning water, lemon water, or coffee, cheers. Prost. Now, don't forget, everybody, you do need to hit that enter button right there. You can see the new BOP applied settings. And while they may look similar and not that different from before, there have been some major changes to certain vehicles. Let's get ready to not rumble. Let's get ready to drive quicker, faster, smarter laps. That's what we're here for, helping everyone get quicker, smarter laps. All right, we're just waiting for Grape down there. Don't forget, folks, you got to hit enter. You have to hit the little green check mark. Well, we've lost a few. We're up to 14 before. Silver Fox, this is your chance to make it in, buddy. Come on in. Go to the world map. Once you're in the world map, bottom right is the multiplayer. Complete bottom right. You pick lobby, the option on the left once you're in there. So world map, then on the world map, complete bottom right. Then you'll have the little lobby. Jump in the lobby and look for friends. If you're friends with anyone on this list, you'll see where they're racing. Come join or add bear_cuddles for you, capital B and a capital C to that. All right, so everyone's ready to go. Silver Fox, did you make it in? Let's see here. Try to make it in, my friend. Give a minute or... Okay, you're joining, so I'll give it a minute more. Let's go to spectate here. Let's see, we're going to be racing against a BMW. Now, the BMW M6 is a used car, and if you're not worried about an engine going on you, you can get that V10. The V10, I don't think is the most reliable. Super Doofus, okay, if you're out, that's okay. If you're out, if you can make it back in, Super Doofus. Let me know if you're going to be in within the next minute. But yeah, talk about real world. If you want real world videos, check out Johnny's Car Care and Reviews, where we real world review different vehicles. We're long-term reviewing our 2017 Shelby GT350, our 1991 Toyota MR2 full JDM right-hand drive. We're also taking care of reviewing a 2024 Ford F-150 that we bought and are long-term reviewing. And we've reviewed lots of Broncos. We've owned 3 of them. We've owned over 80 vehicles here, so we've got a little bit of experience. So that BMW, the V10, do the maintenance on the engine. It'll cost you a lot of money, but it's going to avoid having to replace the entire V10 engine, and that's the V10 from the Formula 1 racing, if I'm not mistaken, or it's from the racing stable. So very cool V10, not an excessively expensive used vehicle, but do have $5,000 or $6,000 on the side to do the maintenance that the engine requires. Otherwise, it can cause a blow to the engine. Great sounding. Look at that. Great sounding car. You got the Lexus there. You've got this interesting livery in 12. We've got Grape running. We got a Porsche from Seguin, a Supra. There we are. JCCR Super Doofus mowing some lawn for us. Knight Rider getting the right tires on his Italia. Pink Audi. People are practicing up here. So let's get this show on the road. Let's go straight to qualifying. Hoping Silver Fox made it in. If not, you'll have to catch the next race. It shouldn't be too long. Oh, what did we do? What did I do? What did I do here? Okay, folks, well, my mistake. So sorry here. I had some sort of disconnection issue that's probably less, it's probably the 18-inch rule, the errors between the steering wheel and the individual, so nice way to say it's my fault. So we'll load settings, we'll get Bathurst back up. So sorry, folks. So if you're watching, you'll just have to come look for this new, old, same. Yeah, that's my fault, friend. That is my fault. PP no limit here. Cart usage, weak here. Wall collision penalty off. Active stability. well, we'll create the room anyways here, and then we'll modify it so that people can give people a minute or two.
Again.
Yeah, the qualify didn't work out, Philness GT. We needed to have the qualify on likely at least the 3-minute mark. Change, and anyways, getting the grid order right takes like 2-3 minutes anyways, so might as well be qualifying. Slowest first, BOP tuning on because this is an extreme race. Mechanical damage is on heavy, folks. And here, max power output, that's all being controlled by this week's BOP, so great time to practice.
Room mode.
So just looking here for our qualifying time.
Top left-hand corner.
Oh, thank you very much, my friend.
Change practice/race to practice/qualify/race.
There we go. Thank you, Philness GT, because now it's going to appear. There we go. Thanks, mate. Thank you very much.
No worries.
We'll give people 30 seconds after.
Save
Qualifying can we'll do 51 minute because you pass the line to make sure that everyone gets to finish their lap. Save settings, absolutely. And we'll just save it over this one. Overwrite. Now we've got it in. Bathurst is going to be now perfected for future races, so we won't have this little delay. So we just got to get everyone here to enter. Make sure that everything is stuck and good.
What's up?
Load the settings. We'll go down because we did save them right here. And double check. I believe now everything will be working quite well. There we go. So change event settings to these.
Salute Ray.
All right, just need everyone here, all 14 racers, to hit that check mark. JCCR Super Doofus. Don't forget to hit the green check and we'll be able to modify the settings and get right into the race. So these are the cars we're going to be racing with. There we are, sitting in the pits. So everyone hit that check button. Let's see. Still waiting for one to hit the check button. Change event settings. Load settings. Load them up. And there we go. Preparing room. Now we'll all have to hit that green setting again, and we are off to the races. So we'll be covering best driving practices, really racecraft, safe, smart driving, how to make you faster, to avoid you being really slowed down by your own little errors that don't feel like errors. They feel very gratifying. They feel like it's the right way to race, and it is for arcade games. But in sim racing, I'm going to cover all the little arcade racing habits that will make you slower, overall make this game a lot less fun for you. For example, if you're bumping and grinding and try to take out every car as you move up the track, yeah, you're going to take some cars out and gain that extra position. Two things are going to happen. You're slowing them down, you're slowing yourself down. Even if nobody crashes, the back of the pack is getting closer to you. Second condition that's going to happen, your safety rating is going to be going down. You're going to get into worse and worse lobbies with more and more Mario Kart, Donkey Kong, banana-brained drivers. You want to avoid those. You don't want to get stuck in the arcade lobbies. You're not going to have a fun time. So let's get going on the race. Let's all hit this enter button. And let's start. Well, you know I'm going to be kind. I'm going to give everyone a last chance. Make sure everyone has, everyone's in. Don't forget, little tip, make sure you got racing softs on, otherwise you're going to be disadvantaged. Let's start to qualify, folks. It's on. We are off to the races. Let's put the pedal to the metal. And while I put the pedal to the metal, folks, I'd love it, the JCCR pit crew, those in the live stream and those watching on replay, punt that thumbs up button, subscribe, turn bell notifications on so you don't miss any of the tips and tricks to becoming a faster driver and having a lot more fun. Now, smart money is tune your car up the way you like it before you get on the track and drive with radar on to see what's coming at you and try to have a clean race. When you bump into vehicles, you slow yourself down. Even if they go off the track and you don't, you slowed yourself down by about a half second every time you're bumping people. If they're light bumpings, well, you might only slow yourself down on a tenth of a second on a rubbing. But the back of the pack, where you won't realize it right away because someone's not going to fly by you, but the back of the pack will be catching up to you. Now, of course, you want to do trail braking, ideally drive manual. That is a huge tip. You'll lose time, you'll be slower at first, but long term it's going to save you from some wipeouts because you just brake faster when you've got left foot braking and motor braking working to help you be fast. So there, when you start to go off, just let go of everything, not a time to be braking. First gear, a lower gear is always good for rotating through these turns, or any turn really. And this is an extreme race. We're racing it because if you can handle the elevation changes on this track, you can handle the elevation tracks on basically any track. It'll teach you where not to drive, how even going uphill on that first uphill section, you glue too much to the apex, you're gonna be wiped out because the track has a little mini elevation change in it. Jay Rizzo, very fast driver here, passing us. We took the long way around there to give room for that big, beautiful Viper. Now we're stuck behind a very distracting back end. That is a beautiful back end, one of the best on the market. Not a car on the market anymore, but that's why the values of those have gone up so much, because it is a beautifully designed car. Sort of like a modern version of a Jaguar E-Type. And Jay Rizzo is a very fast driver. He's also our racing teammate, and we're going to follow him to learn and grow from him. So we're going to basic racecraft, go from the outside of the track, get our brake point. Once we get to the middle of the apex, you start accelerating. Let go, didn't fully let go, but let off a little of the gas there to make the turn. Brake to the marker and then start accelerating after the marker. The marker, yes, it is training wheels, but you got to learn how to ride a bike at some point. You don't start on two wheels. All right. Hammer down. Once we get through here, we need to straight through here, back on the throttle, little slide out. The 911 is such an improved car since the update. Most improved car. It is now, I'd say, a top car to pick. And it was not in the past unless you had incredible skill with it. Now we're gonna have to set that time remaining, I guess, to 5 minutes to make sure everyone can get back across the line, because the qualifier was just pure practice, it would seem. So sorry folks, we'll have to change that before the next start. We'll start up the race. The order won't be ideal, but maybe they'll take our out lap. I think they have taken our out lap, which isn't too bad because we all, on an out lap, we all get onto the track the same way from the pits. Now let's get ready to race. Let's not get ready to rumble, because that equals slow driving. So here on a grid start, the best way to start, it's a drag race. Rev up the motor and let go once you see that clock start. And this is my specialty, so hopefully this should work out. Oh, and we got some people who are faster on that. Good job to those two cars. The Ferraris are fast off the line. It's their specialty. Slow and medium speed turns, because it's got incredible acceleration, the 458 Ferrari, off the slow and the medium turns. Its weakness is the long straights. Power up the hill, even though we're not at the middle of the apex. That's one where you power early. I don't like to be too much on that apex, because if you really get close to the wall, you will probably have the back end of your vehicle slide out. The 911 is just so beautifully balanced now, as it is in the real world. Technology balancing the vehicle out perfectly, because normally an engine behind the rear wheels isn't an ideal setup, but Porsche has made it work since they've had technology. It's no longer the Widowmaker like those 70s turbos 911s. Front of that pack knows this race. They are fast. And these are extreme races because often the fastest racers have to start at the back of the pack and make their way up. So the slow racers get to practice being at the front of the pack, which they don't often normally do. And the best racers get to practice their passing skills. And the slower, less experienced racers get to practice their defensive skills without, you know, the damage is on extreme. So if you're overly protective and you defend when you shouldn't be defending because the car is coming up on you real fast, well, unfortunately you both pay a price for that. All right, at 2:15, we need to get this around 2:11, 2:12. We can make it happen. Just gotta push the car, and the 911 is now safe to push. Can safely do fast laps. Before the update, for me, it was really as a beginner intermediate driver, it was a first or last car, and now it's a lot easier to drive as it is in the real world. So that's about the safe distance from the wall. Closer than that, you're playing with fire, just because of the elevation change. That's about as fast as we can go through there. You just gotta hammer through this section, pedal to the metal. missed our shift, and that's going to get a nice clean pass. Great job, Grape. That was a beautiful pass in your BMW. BMW M6, a previous meta car from a few updates ago. All right, now you want to be following cars in their line. Let them cut the wind for you. That'll get you slowly closer and closer to them when you've got a long straight like we're about to have here. Just after the 100. Probably could have done it in between the 100 and the 50 there. To be tested on the next lap. And well, sim racing is a lot like any skill, hobby, new business project you're going to be taking on in life. You need to put your ego aside. You're going to make mistakes. Learn from those mistakes. Modify as you go. Modify your approach. Modify, you know, and watch the pros. Watch the pros. Get strategies from them. Find out what their strategies are, and then try to turn their strategies into actions that you can actually accomplish with a little bit of work. Break up a big skill into a lot of mini skills so it's manageable and not too discouraging. You know, when you're learning how to play basketball, your immediate goal can't be, okay, well, my goal that I'm working on every day is to be a professional basketball player. No, that can be a basketball player. That can be your overall dream. You need to know how to break it up to actually get you to that ultimate dream or goal. Break it up into hundreds of little mini goals. So every week we get on, we're trying to make it to the A class, so every week we got to get on as a beginner, try to finish the week as a winner, get a little faster every week on every single track. Some tracks you've never driven before or haven't driven since, you know, Gran Turismo version from, you know, maybe the PS2 or PS3. Stopped playing racing games for years and years, unfortunately. And the wheel setup, I've got a Thrustmaster GT2, and the wheel setup has really brought a love of the game, and that's my outside dream, is to take one of my 911s to the Mont Tremblant race course and take you guys with me as I do my racing licenses and get a whole lot of laps in there. You know, just responsible new dad stuff. I think Otgen probably had too much damage on his car, so he went into the pits to deal with that damage, because the extreme damage will make your car funky, a little squirrely, and a bit dirty to drive. So you power, you can see that I started powering very early on, adding throttle there. Ever so slightly letting off, depressing slightly the throttle at times, but I'm always on the throttle through this entire section. I think that's key. Forza Canada, hope you'll make it into the next race. We're just finishing up this one. Yes, this is a track that it's pretty easy to get spun out in different spots. And I don't know, I have a feeling that the mid-engines have a high reward, high risk for this track. At the marker, we turn in to make it to the next marker. This will be my fastest lap by far. This was a nice lap at 2:10.2. Just got to get consistent with that. And if they throw Bathurst at a Manufacturer's Cup, I think we will smoke it together. All right, clean race bonus. That's how you want to get it done, whether you're online, offline. It means more money. You get to have your Boy Scout badge of honor. All right, let's host menu it up. Change event settings. Let's load up some settings here. Now we'll have to create a Sardinia. We've got way too much Nürburgring here, so this one's set up perfectly. The Tokyo Expressway is set up nicely. Laguna Seca and Deep Forest all set up, but we've got an extra one here, so let's load this up. And then let's change the event settings. Here we'll go to give people a chance to slowly get in while we change up the event settings. A little multitasking here. Don't run away, folks. It won't be the Nürburgring.
Endured / dealt lots of damage lap 1 low.
Philness endured and dealt a lot of damage in lap 1. So folks, make it into the lobby. We're doing subscribers versus YouTubers, discovering the best cars. Now let's see here. We'll go over to the host menu. We're going to change event settings. We will try out here Sardinia because I believe it is coming up on the tournament. We'll do the regular layout A. We will set up slowest first, and let's get here grid start with false check. Practice qualifier. Yes, heavy damage should, we should all, on the online, it should always be heavy damage, and it needs to even be heavier, so it changes everyone's priority to get people out of this arcade, hit everybody, clown mode. So we need a good 100 seconds after the timer runs out to be able to actually do more than, to actually get a full lap in on the qualifier. So that's what's going on there. So let's get this, let's save these settings. We'll save them over this last one here. And we'll change up the race settings. Well, good thing we saved them because we didn't have everyone hitting the green button, myself included. So let's hit that green button. So now we can actually change the event settings, load settings, and what's nice is, well, we've got it right up here now. Okay, folks, don't forget to hit the little green checker there. We got 14 racers. Let's get into this race. Double check here. We got a qualifying, so we don't manually have to change them all. We've got enough seconds to finish the race once that lap has started. 5-minute time limit. So we do our first lap off track, and then we've got a full lap to complete. Here we go, folks. We're about to test out the best cars. Let's see what those cars are and see how it shakes out, because the slowest cars on the qualifier are going to be at the top, and the fastest cars are going to be at the bottom. There's heavy damage, so people need to pass smart. I'd say brake balance for the Ferrari 458. On this track, there's a lot of turns where the turns have a lot of space, so I'd actually free up those front wheels. I'd go to 1 or 2 towards the rear. If it was all 90-degree turns and very short, tight turns like this week's weekly race, then I think you're at 0 or even -1 because you're heading down long straights. You need as much braking speed as possible. So we are testing out the cars with the new BOP. If you're not aware, there's been an update which has actually changed the cars. So near the top, we're going to have a BMW, we're going to have a Supra, we're going to have a Ferrari. We have some Porsches. It's great to see an RS01. I think that's a fantastic car. So is the RCF. The RCF is incredible since the update. One of the easiest cars to drive. Ray GR3, welcome friend. Don't forget to hit that green check mark. Same to JCCR. Philness, welcome teammate. We're on the same racing stable. So let's get these horses on the track. We got JCCR, Jay Rizzo, and Silver Fox. Throwing out a little silly voice there, like I'm calling Mandy up to the stage. Or Candy, I should say. Marianne, Luann, Sue-Ann coming up on stage. All car names, of course, and the stage is the racetrack. So let's test out these best driving cars since the update. Glad to see a V12 Vantage. Let's see how that does on the track. It's Danny C-Fan. Don't forget, damage is on extreme, folks, so play it clean. Philness GT, hit that mark there, buddy. Give you a few minutes. Let's check out that RS01 handling the grass very nicely there. Let's see how others handle that grass. Here we go, the V12 again. It's Danny. Looking good. Nice color there, friend. It's Danny again, followed by Dr. Hannibal. Got some in the pits here. We got S. Jules out practicing. Helio out. I think that's the RCF, some 911s. Helio up there, Otkin, and we've got people just chilling out, waiting for the race to start. So let's get going, folks. You've seen the stable of cars. Let's test out what's the best car or the best car since the update. Yeah, absolutely use your Aston Martin V12 Vantage GR3 from 2012 if it is a car that can be BOP'd applied. So it needs to be a GR3 car. Don't forget to throw your racing soft tires on, folks. Last warning for the racing softs. I don't say it enough, but I will say it again. So dropping you all 10-second countdown to throw on those tires. Beautiful cars. Let's find out who's the fastest. We got YouTubers versus subscribers, and really the goal of this channel is to all learn and grow together. So it's YouTubers with subscribers. Join the community, learn, make friends, have a great time. Be kind, folks. Let's start the qualifier. I'm going to give myself a little heads up, throw on at least one of my gloves that I like to race with here. If I don't say it enough, folks, cheers, prost, happy Sunday. Family, friend, fun day. Well, hello, Lily. Here's little Lily. Mwah, I love you. And we got Winston down there, too. So before you jump on the track, folks, when you've got races like this, get your car tuned just the way you like it. Get your radar on. Sometimes it's best to start last, just so you're not in the traffic. But, hey, it's not for DR. DR is not affected here in the lobbies. So let's jump in. So Sardinia, I believe, is going to be part of the Manufacturers' Cup, so I think it's wise that we're practicing up a little and trying to find out what cars are the best, so we can all figure out what we want to use for the Manufacturers' Cup. But being that I own 2 Porsche 911s in the real world, I have a certain, brand loyalty to this car. And now that it's so much more drivable than before, So outlap's going to be a bit of a painful one. Now we do have a mix of A+ drivers all the way to E drivers, so it does make for some exciting, surprising racing, as some will, you know, just be warming up their tires while you're flying by. Good inside, safe pass, very wise, row NL. So you really have to pay attention, as some people are going to do some unexpected driving. So you got to be ready to drive defensively. All right, so Row NL seems to be a pretty decent driver, so happy to follow behind him. Pass when it's safe, because here we've got extreme damage on, but on the weekly races you've got the chance to completely scrap your race because you crash out and lose 20 seconds. Nice clean safe pass on his part. First there for the rotation through. And know your car. Does it like to be revved out for maximum power, or is it an early shifter? Check that out in the settings, the car settings. You can see where its peak power is created. Take those apexes, but not so much that you eat up the curb. So the slowest will be starting last, and the goal of that is, the slowest are going to be starting in first, so they can practice defensive driving and, you know, do so in a safe and smart way, and the fastest drivers get to practice passing cars that are going to be driving unpredictably for them. So it's great practice for that occasional wild driver that you're like, whoa, where did that come from? So even if you're an A+ driver, you sometimes get someone in front of you where they throw a curveball at you or they deliberately brake check you. Well, you'll get a lot of practice in this lobby, because they're not brake checking you, they're just slowing down more for the turn because they don't know the turn as well as you do. Now I've got brake balance 2 to the rear, so I can, you know, brake through that entire section, slowing down to where I need it to be. Started powering, even though we couldn't see where the track's going. Sometimes you just gotta know a track. All right, let's power all the way down, and just after the 100. Oh, just after the 100 is too late for braking. We'll know for the main race. That will not be a fast one. Whew. Now I'm going to let this Supra pass if they've got significant speed on my car, because I don't want to be holding back his lap because of an error I made. 2 errors I made. Oh, we both made that error. I was saying I'm going to let him go by, and did not follow any of my markers. Following the tire tracks on the racetrack is always a good indicator of a very good line to be following. A little trick if you don't have the markers up. But the most improved car is the 911. It's driving much more like it does in the real world. The Mercedes AMG as a great car to now be driving. The McLaren has always been a good, safe, fun car to drive, but just a little slow, and I feel like they tuned the McLaren, played around with its dynamics. Still an easy car to drive, maybe just a little bit harder to drive, but definitely faster. So I'm 5.5 seconds slower than the last fastest car, but that doesn't surprise me. We had a bit of accidents going on there. So we got a 3-lap race, and that's wild because for the A+ drivers, if you're starting in, let's say, 13th and you're an A+ driver, it is gonna, well, Helio here, an amazing driver, A+, it's gonna be so hard for Helio to end up where he belongs in first because, well, the slowest results are starting at the top. So a little interesting aspect there. Let's get ready to race. 3 laps for those world-class drivers to make it up to the top. They're used to always getting probably a lot of podiums. Now they've got the challenge of trying to make it through the traffic, but at least it's a wide track. It's a good track to get passes in. It's not like the Nürburgring, where if you're starting in last but you're a lot faster than everyone, like you need like 4 or 5 laps. All right, you can see the A+, the top drivers up there at the bottom. Now, first gear on the 911, there's a lot of meat to that gear, so it's a little slow coming out of first, but then the other gears are very quick, and first becomes a very usable gear on the track. Whew. I guess I was going too slow through there. Now I don't know, the car in front of us seems to be have some sort of special company promoting them, paying for advertising. One or two turns can change a lot at the early race. Oh, Ray GR slides into us by accident, really slowing us down there. But we kept it on the track because now the 911 isn't some super puntable football. It actually held its own, so great test to see how the 911 can handle its own when getting pushed in corners. I know for a fact Ray's a very fast driver, so I'm going to try to get in behind him. Ooh, we took that slow, so we got a beautiful 458 or some livery, some car here passing us. Took that slow, ate up too much apex. .154.8 being the fastest lap. Oh, we got super punted. Oh, we got super punted off the track. Near the bottom now. Let's see what we can do to climb back up. Everyone's still in a bunch, so one good turn, 2-3 good turns can really get us back into the race if we can squeeze by here, as we just did. Silver Fox, I'm following close. I certainly don't mean to bump into you, so I laid off a little. because I was just too close to see what was going on in the track. Oh, and you get punted again, folks. If I've hit you, it's only because I got punted really hard and pushed off the track. Folks, try to get your braking down so you don't use other cars as your brake points. So this is almost how online racing should be. We just need a bit of penalty for trading paint. Rubbing is racing, but making a hard contact with a car is not any hard contact. The penalties should be based on how hard your contact with the car is. A very hard contact, yes, 4 seconds. Rubbing, no penalty. Spearing someone, you know, could be 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 or 4 seconds, all depending on the impact. That's how it needs to be set up. It's not Call of Duty, folks. So someone pulling a 140 on the lap, that is incredible. I won't be surprised if that's, okay, that's SJ Lusjan making it back with the pack again. Oh, I need maybe another 2 laps to make it back with this pack. 1 lap to catch up, 2 laps to pass, maybe if I would survive. Here we were getting close. Okay, I guess we just needed the last part of that lap. One more lap, and I think we would have been up, maybe ahead of that group. But good job, folks. Helio did make it from last to first. Great job. RCZ, I've said it since the update. That car is an absolute winner, especially in the hands of a great driver like that. Now, I've got my baby girl. I think she's getting up. So, yeah, I gotta let you guys go, folks. My baby girl is up. Thank you so much for the lobbies today. Really enjoyed it. Take care, folks. That's been the races. Blessed to have you watching the show and joining in. Man Fratello, I'm closing up the lobby for today, but make it to next Saturday. Saturday mornings at 10 is when we race, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Blessed to have you. I wish you all more cars and more power. And I hope you get to put the pedal to the metal on a car that you love in the real world. And if not, join the sim racing world. It's fantastic practice. And it's fantastic practice, fantastic fun. Take care, folks. Godspeed, everyone. Have a great family friend day. No one should be working on a Sunday, and I hope that's the case. Let's make this a thing again. Nobody works on Sundays. Family friend time. Take care, folks.